Students are taking action when it comes to diversity and inclusion on HBU's campus.
And shots fired in the early hours of the morning today.
These stories and more, All Access starts right now. Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of HBU All Access. I'm Anna Harris.
And I'm Reese Harnett. We have lots of news, sports, and entertainment updates coming your way. But first, let's head over to Lauren Green for a snapshot of our local weather. Lauren?
Thank you, Reese. Good evening, everyone, and happy Wednesday. I'm Lauren Green, and welcome back to your All Access Weather Edition. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, you will see that on Thursday, we have a high of 68 and a low of 57 with a slight chance of rain in the mix. So make sure to grab your umbrella to class and bring it to class. As we look at our weather for Friday, it's going to be a high of 66 and a low of 38 and also partly cloudy. And then moving towards the weekend, temperatures are expected to drop slightly with highs in the upper 50s and lows ranging down to the mid and low 30s. So bundle up and make sure to bring a jacket if you plan on going out. As we look towards next week, you will see that the weather is expected to warm up a little bit. On Monday, it's going to be slightly cloudy with a high of 51 and a low of 30. And then moving towards Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to warm up a little bit from the mid 50s and the upper 60s with lows in the 30s and 40s. So stay warm. That's all for this week's weather edition. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Lauren. Mount Airy man is charged with 65 counts of child exploitation and numerous child sex crimes. The month-long investigation began when Surry County Sheriff's Office received a cyber tip from the FBI and the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin. Mark William Combs of Mount Airy was arrested on November 4th after Surry County deputies and the State Bureau of Investigation executed a search warrant of his home. Combs received a $3,900,000 secured bond. Additional charges could be filed because his electronic devices were also taken for investigation.
This morning, around 3 a.m., Greensboro police received calls that shots had been fired. Officers went to the 5900 block of West Friendly Avenue but did not find the victims there. Instead, the two injured people were found later this morning in the High Point area. They were both taken to the hospital soon after, with one person in critical condition while the other is stable. At this moment, police do not have any information on a suspect but are working to find out more.
Our campus has been busy this week, and reporter Will O'Brien is here to fill you all in. Will?
Thanks, guys. I'm Will O'Brien here with your campus updates. This upcoming Veterans Day, show your appreciation for all of our veterans by writing them a letter thanking them for their brave service. This event will be taking place at Wesley First Floor Lobby tomorrow at 11 p.m. HPU will also be hosting a Veterans Day breakfast at the Cobain Conference Center tomorrow morning. This tradition will be back in person this year after a virtual event was held in 2020 due to COVID-19. Many students will be volunteering at this event. SGA has been hosting Tag Week all week, allowing students to think about giving in different ways. On Tuesday, students could write what they are thankful for and take a picture in front of the gratitude wall. Tonight, there will be a trivia night held in Wilson Ballroom at 7 p.m. Thursday, they will be hosting a Veterans Day Care Package event in Slane, and on Friday, to wrap up the week, there will be a food drive and food truck event with the location to be determined. Finally tonight, in Greek life news, the Beta Theta Pi fraternity will be hosting the Paint a Beta event this Friday at Founders Field from 4 to 6 p.m., and the Alpha Kappa Psi Business Fraternity will be hosting a fundraiser on Saturday at the local Chipotle from 5 to 9 p.m. That's it for this week's campus updates. Be sure to frequently check the Cork app and the HPU website for any upcoming events you may be interested in. Over to you, Brooke.
Big week for High Point sports. A historic arena opening for both the men's and women's basketball in a Big South Conference championship with an exciting overtime finish. Stay tuned. All Access will be right back.
I'll have the langoustine lobster ravioli.
For you, sir?
The original call was for langoustine ravioli. A langoustine is a tiny kind of lobster. Slight shellfish allergy rules that out. Plus, my wife ordered the langoustine. I will have chicken tenders and tater tots.
If you're a ref, you way over-explain things. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
Sir, we don't have tater tots.
It's what you do.
I will have nachos.
Sheets run and done.
Welcome back to All Access. Now let's hear from sports reporter Brooke Ruffin about our history-making week in the world of HBU athletics. What's going on, Brooke?
Thank you and good evening. I'm Brooke Ruffin with your All Access Sports Update. What an exciting week for sports at High Point University as the Panthers dominated from the courts to the trails. From the court of the new state-of-the-art Cobain Arena, both the men's and women's basketball teams dominated over the Mount Olive Spartans in exhibition games. In a packed stadium on opening night last Thursday, men's basketball defeated Mount Olive 95-70. Sophomore Zach Austin sunk the first basket in the history of the arena and continued on to score 20 more points in his HBU debut. It was the women's turn on Friday night in their opening exhibition game against the Spartans. With 5 different players hitting at least one triple in the first half alone, it was a winning night for the Panthers as they defeated Mount Olive 82-68. From the court to the trails, a huge shout out to the women's cross country team as they won their 5th consecutive Big South Conference title, defeating Radford by 5 points in Kernersville. Lindsay Ikes and Sydney Bagas won Big South First Team All-Conference honors, and Cameron Harper and Olive Allen won Second Team All-Conference honors for their performances. And back to the turf, another win and more congratulations as the women's team won the Big South Conference Championship in overtime against Kimball. Skylar Pilliman scored the winning goal that put HPU up 2-1 over the Camels. Next up, the Panthers will compete in the NCAA tournament. Tonight, second seed men's soccer is playing in the Big South semifinals. The Panthers were one of the only 2 Big South to remain unbeaten during conference play this season. Come out and support your Panthers. I'm Brooke Ruffin reporting for your All Access Sports Update. Back to you, Anna and Reese.
Thanks, Brooke.
So everything's been super exciting in the world of athletics recently. Have you been making it to some of the basketball games?
I did. I actually was there for the very first one. I have to say,
Yes.
I know the rest of the students had to have loved it because it was exhilarating.
Yes, I didn't even feel like I was at High Point University. I felt like I was at some big school. So it
Yeah.
felt super, super cool.
Yeah, we don't, we don't get that a whole lot here. So, to be able to walk in there and be like, this is my school, and we did really well.
Yes, exactly. All of the games so far.
Yes, it was very cool. Well, now we're joined at the desk by political correspondent Lizbeth Ramirez. Welcome, Lizbeth.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Welcome back to this week's All Politics. After months of negotiations and discussions between politicians, the House passed one of the largest infrastructure bills in U.S. history. It is over $1 trillion, and a huge part of that will go to building roads and bridges. It passed with a 228-206 vote, with 6 Democrats being against it and 13 Republicans for it. The bill will now head over to President Joe Biden for a final signature. Biden said that this bill would create millions of jobs, turn the climate crisis into an opportunity, and put us on a path to win the economic competition for the 21st century. Do you guys think this will better our country in the long run?
100%. I think, coming from at least experience living in South Carolina, where our roads are not exactly the most amazing, they definitely could use some infrastructure help. I'm really hoping that this will be able to help us there.
No, I completely agree. And I think it's definitely a lot of the initiative and making sure people are being on top of the bill and make sure it's really yes, they've signed it and they've implemented it, but are they going to follow through with it and see how all of that goes? I know that there's a lot of construction going on, with construction cones and gravel roads and everything that's been going on lately. So we'll see what's going to happen in the future.
I completely agree with you guys. So North Carolina has once again made history. After last week's election, Elaine O'Neill has become Durham's first black female mayor. O'Neill was a former judge and received 84% of all her votes. Her opponent was a fellow person of color, Javiera Caballero, who was the first Latina on the council. O'Neill said, "As the first black woman, mayor of Durham, I know that we are closer to the American dream of opportunity for all, yet on occasion we remain the closest of strangers." What do you guys think? How do you guys think this will affect the Bull City?
I think it's like honestly so much of history in the making. It's super cool to see like two women who are both strong enough to be the final candidates of it too, and like knowing that they're just bringing a lot of diversity into the Bull City.
Sure, and I think she said it perfectly with, the American dream of opportunity. This just shows, we are making that progress to where anybody and everyone should be in roles like these and can. So I think it's great.
For sure, but thank you so much for joining us, Lizbeth. Coming back from the break, we hear about the tragedy that struck many at the Astroworld Festival this past week.
And take a look at what sparked a recent call to action by HBU students to make our campus a more inclusive place.
All Access will be right back. Stay with us.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
I'll have the langoustine lobster ravioli.
For you, sir?
The original call was for langoustine ravioli. Langoustine is a tiny kind of lobster. Slight shellfish allergy rules that out. Plus, my wife ordered the langoustine. I will have chicken tenders and tater tots.
If you're a ref, you way over-explain things. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
Sir, we don't have tater tots.
It's what you do.
I will have nachos.
Sheets run and done. Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Welcome back to All Access. Social media posts on an anonymous app and a controversial speaker produced an active response by the Black Student Union, as well as hundreds of students across High Point University's campus. Anna went to the community meeting hosted by BSU after the events of last Wednesday to learn more about what occurred and how students can get involved.
The Black Student Union held an awareness event right here in this room on Wednesday, November 3rd. It invited all students on campus to come and express their concerns about racist posts on Yik Yak, as well as a planned event on campus. It first started when a flyer was posted to the Turning Point USA's HBU Instagram account. It promoted an event called Unlearning Anti-Racism, Breaking Down Critical Race Theory, with speaker Gabriel Nadales, a former Antifa member. HBU students went to social media trying to cancel the event, believing that it had racist intent. Turning Point USA released a statement apologizing for posting a graphic inciting values they do not stand for. Although the event sparked some concern, the main issues arose after the post on Yik Yak. During the meeting, many students expressed they felt targeted.
So my feelings at first was I was very hurt. It kind of hit me to the core because I've been going to this school for 4 years now. And it's crazy that we've just gotten through a huge kind of movement and some pinnacle things in life that has really impacted our world, and we still have that same mindset.
After expressing their feelings, the students wrote down possible solutions to the problems and ways that can get the administration involved. Black Student Union President Michaela Smith believes the meeting was productive.
After this meeting, I feel positive that the community is one, and that it's not just the Black community, it's not just the Hispanic community, it's not just the white community, it's literally everyone that was in there that came together. People put aside their political views, people put aside how they feel.
The meeting even included members of the NAACP, and with this support, their next plan of action is to stay consistent.
One thing that I'll tell everyone, if you're a High Point student, you must reach out to administration, voice your opinion, set up a meeting with the president, talk to him, tell him your opinion, tell him what things need to be changed. And because only one person or only two people, only three people won't do anything, that's not showing the community at all. So it has to be a group effort. And I think that this event and this meeting has really shown that, and we'll see what the next steps are going to be.
With consistency, Michaela emphasizes how HBU's values represent the student body.
No, being a product of High Point University means being extraordinary. Those are extraordinary Black students in there, those are extraordinary white students in there, those are extraordinary Hispanic students in there, and those are extraordinary Middle Eastern students. Whatever race you are, we all have been taught to be extraordinary due to the university that we have attended and the things that we have learned here, the very key life skills that High Point University has given us.
University President Nito Cubain sent out an email the following day to all students stating that racism and discrimination in every form will not be tolerated at HBU. He did not state whether or not Turning Point USA will face any consequences. Reporting for HBU All Access, I'm Anna Harris.
Thanks, Anna. We'll be sure to keep an eye on how student leaders work on these initiatives. Now let's head over to entertainment reporter Riley Mannion to hear the inside scoop from Hollywood. Riley?
Thanks, Reese. Welcome back to this week's Entertainment Updates. I'm Riley Mannion. Tragedy struck this past week after a crowd surge at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival left 8 dead and dozens injured. A large crowd began pushing toward the front of the stage during a performance by rapper Travis Scott, trampling people and unknowingly stepping on them, leaving them no room to get up. Fans began screaming to Scott, the camera people, and the producers that people are dying and people need help, but it seemed like no one was responsive to these calls. Scott canceled the remainder of the festival, refunded all who attended the night of the incident, and is offering to pay medical and funeral bills. In later news, Kim Kardashian has been spotted with SNL star Pete Davidson over the past few weeks, and it's starting to look like they might be a little more than friends. They were spotted holding hands on a roller coaster and kissing at a dinner on a rooftop in New York. Kanye West doesn't seem to be too fond of this, as he says he and Kim aren't divorced yet and are still married. Kardashian and Davidson seem to be keeping quiet on this situation, and neither of them have made any statements. Universal has announced that Wicked will be getting a movie adaptation and has announced 2 all-star women to be leading the cast. Harriet star Cynthia Erivo will play Elphaba, and music icon Ariana Grande will star as Glinda. No other actors have been announced for any roles yet, but we expect to hear more in the near future. The production is slated to begin filming in June 2022, so there's no expected release date as of now. That's all for this week's All Access Entertainment. Back to you, Anna and Reese.
YouTube today announced its decision to make the dislike count on videos private across its platform. The decision is likely to be controversial given the fact that it impacts the public's visibility into a video's reputation. However, YouTube believes, the change will better protect its creators from harassment. The company says that while dislike counts won't be visible to the public, it's not removing the dislike button itself. Viewers can still click on the icon, but the only person who will see the collective total of dislikes will be the video creator. A spokesperson from the company said, and I quote, "We are proactively making this change because YouTube has a responsibility to protect creators, especially smaller creators, from harassment and dislike attacks."
Many restaurants are offering free meals and discounts to say thank you to veterans this Veterans Day. Tomorrow, veterans and U.S. military members can visit Applebee's, Bob Evans, Chili's, Golden Corral, Red Lobster, and TGI Fridays with a form of ID, Veterans Organization card, or photograph in uniform. You can visit the WFMY News website for more details on the specific discounts they are offering. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you guys for watching. Join us next week, same time, same place. For HVU All Access, I'm Anna Harris.
And I'm Reese Arnett. Have a great week, High Point.